11 years ago was my very first annual meeting, a month and a half after the May 2010 floods. If you recall, JFS was the central agency handling crisis relief for those in the Jewish community. Catastrophic damage. At that time, I was only 5 months on the job and was blown away by the staff and lay leaders of this agency. Everyone just jumped into action, serving the needs of our community to their fullest capability, all going above and beyond the normal activities of our agency. Now, 11 years later, we are beginning to come out of the most significant global health crisis of our lifetimes. I want to make a couple of observations comparing how JFS responded to COVID and to the flood. First, the similarities, which is in how our staff operates. Team JFS always works with compassion, with dedication, with responsiveness, and with professionalism for each and every individual that we serve. This is true under normal circumstances, and it stays true during a crisis. It doesn't matter if the waters are rising or if a virus is spreading. I can't thank my staff enough for all they have done and for all the ways they've stepped up and responded during this past year. Just as we are here for individuals day in and day out in their times of private crisis, we are here for the entire community in our times of collective crisis. Now for the main difference. The flood, while unbelievably catastrophic for those affected, was localized. In Nashville's Jewish community, the brunt was borne by 56 individual families. COVID-19 affected everyone, and its effects are broad-reaching. We have seen illness and loss, economic stress, isolation, mental health crisis, and more. Jewish Family Service had been here to serve in this moment of need, both with existing programs and by introducing 10 new services to help support our community with whatever issues they are facing. Considering that we're gathering here at a school tonight, we'll give you the opportunity to grade us tonight, to see how we've done this past year with the programs and services that we added to address the needs of the community. I'm going to share an activity that I do with the 6th graders from Beit Miriam at West End Synagogue. Every year they come in to donate kosher food to our kosher food box program and learn about the impact that JFS has in the community. I asked the students to put us to a test. We read through JFS's mission statement. I describe 1 or 2 of the 18 different programs and services, such as counseling, adoption, and financial assistance. And then they put me to a test, or not me, the agency to a test. They say, are we achieving our mission through that program? You know, it's pretty tough keeping 6th graders engaged early on a Sunday morning. So here we are on a Thursday evening, close to the end of a work week. Granted, you're not 6th graders, but I still need to keep you engaged and awake, hopefully. First, you need to know what our mission is, right up here. Jewish Family Service of Nashville and Middle Tennessee provides professional social services from Jewish perspectives, which respond to and support individuals through life's transitions. With each program, Jewish Family Service strives to achieve at least one of those objectives listed over there on the far right. Either improve social, emotional, and economic conditions, enhance personal growth, increase opportunities for independent, productive, and satisfying lives. So anytime we add a program, we put ourselves to a test. We say, are we going to achieve at least one of these things? And I'd venture to say, with most of our programs, we achieve 2 or 3 of these objectives. So just going to be Vanna for a second. Quick change. Into a PowerPoint. We didn't do a PowerPoint because I wasn't sure if you'd be able to see it with the light. So this is our version of a PowerPoint. Here is a listing of the 10 different programs and services or expanded programs that we added since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now for some audience participation. If there's a program, we'll look through like 2 or 3 of these. We're not going to go through every single one. We'll be here all night. If there's a program that you want to hear more about, call it out and then we'll put us to the test. So anybody want to learn more about one of these programs? Anyone? Or
Cyber Seniors.
Thank you, Lauren. So Cyber Seniors is an amazing program that we started actually very fortuitously. Anna, how many? 1 month before the pandemic started? And the idea is that we have a volunteer matched with a senior to teach them basics of their computer, whether it be a computer, a laptop, their iPad, their phone. And it's designed to teach them things like shopping online, staying connected with their grandkids that might be far away through Facebook or Zoom or Skype, to basically connect that senior who may not have the technological capabilities with their family and also with the broader world. And it's just a great program because it allows for the senior to and the volunteer to connect. So what do you think? Did we achieve at least one of those objectives? Okay, so we passed test number 1. Any other wanting to know what one of these programs is?
Anxiety support group.
Anxiety support group. Thank you, David Barton. And I'm glad to see you. So anxieties, as we all know, different people experienced COVID in different ways, and anxiety definitely came out loud and clear for many people. So we were hearing from our clients, either counseling clients or just people that called us in general, saying that they can really benefit from being in a group and hearing how other people cope with anxiety, learning tips as to how to cope with their anxiety. So we started an anxiety support group. Ashley, about how far into the pandemic would you say? 5 months or so?
I don't think it was even that far.
Maybe 2 months, okay. But 2 months, we just heard it loud and clear that this was a needed support group. So we added it, and we have a great, thanks to Ashley running that group, a great group. So how'd we do on that one? Pass the test. One more, just one more. Which one? Pen Pals. This is a really sweet program because a lot of our younger community members are participating in this. We have, how many, Anna? Pen Pals? Yeah, both. Over 50 that receive letters. And it was just another way to connect our older adults in the community with people who wanted to volunteer. They really wanted to reach out and make an impact on those seniors' lives. And it's been really, really sweet. We've had, kindergartners writing cards to seniors, and they actually communicate back and forth, which is really, really nice. So how'd we do on that one? Okay, great. So I think we passed the test and are achieving our mission with these new, these are 10 new programs. We also have our 18 programs and services, again, ranging from adoption, financial assistance, 18 different programs to support the different needs of our community. I want to thank our incredible board, which has skillfully, been led by Nan Speller for the past 2 years. It's been my honor and pleasure to serve with you. You are a true, true partner. And I have to say that this is one of the most engaged and thoughtful boards in all of Nashville. I feel your support every day, whether you're offering a kind, positive word, soliciting one of your friends or colleagues, or calling me about a conversation that you had about a JFS program in the community. You truly challenge the agency to be better and show your appreciation of the staff, which is always needed and valued, but especially was felt and appreciated during this past year. Thank you to our 3 outgoing board members. I have to say that I always feel a tinge of sadness when board members roll off, but these 3, I have to say, are particularly hitting me hard this year. Thankfully, Steve Lapidus is staying on as chair of our newly formed investment committee, so your wise counsel and support aren't going too far away. You know that I'll always call on you, for sure. Although Ben Russ is rolling off of the board this year, his wife Marissa Moses Russ will be joining the board. This I am particularly proud of. Anyone who has served as a board president will understand if your spouse actually asks to be on a board after your presidency, that is quite a statement in my mind about the strength of the agency and the lay professional partnership. And Stan Sklar, what can I say? Together we began JFS's presence at the Pride Festival and held awesome fundraisers with the LGBT community for adoption journeys, and just your jolly and supportive personality that I will greatly miss, always asking, what more can you do to help? I know that you're not going too far then. But thank you in advance to our 4 newly installed board members who have taken on the commitment to this organization. I look forward to building the types of relationships with you that I just described about the 3 outgoing board members. You've signed on to a great board. And to our honoree, Lauren Brisky, I am so thankful to you for your commitment to JFS. We are so fortunate to have you involved in both our Budget and Finance and now our newly formed Investment Committee. You always add so much to the conversation, and your expertise in guiding us through the RFP process this past year in choosing a new investment advisor was invaluable. We appreciate you so much. And to the JFS staff, again, you rock. It's impossible to convey how much I appreciate your professionalism, compassion, and depth of knowledge. As the saying goes, it takes a village. In our case, it takes a family that provides services in a Jewish context. This is Jewish Family Service.
All right, welcome. It's my privilege to be here to introduce you to the Ruach Award winner for the year. And when I heard that it was going to be outside, I said, it gets hot in the summer. I said, oh, it's going to be a lovely evening. And I said, there might be mosquitoes. Oh, we'll take care of the mosquitoes, you know, okay. And here we are, and we're among the trees, and it got me to thinking. So let me ask Lauren Brisky, our honoree, to come up here. Will we say a few words about her? Yeah. Let's see. Got it. So you can come closer. There you go. We go back a long way. So Arlene, don't worry. Our Jewish values include midrash stories of planting trees for future generations. Lauren has planted hundreds of trees. Even more importantly, her high spirit, Ruach means spirit, has resulted in what Peter Drucker observed: the fruits of her work grows on other people's trees. At all the various agencies and various individuals she's counseled with and helped over the years. Lauren J. Brisky has had a long and illustrious career in nonprofit leadership, ranging from senior management roles in major universities to multiple board positions in charitable organizations that primarily reflect her core interest in assisting women and young girls. How appropriate to be on a campus that's helping to raise some of those young girls and a few young guys along the way, making them into the people we want them to be. She is currently chair of the Board of Trustees of the Sue Peters Foundation, the owner and manager of the real property and financial assets that support the mission of the Girl Scouts of Middle Tennessee. She previously served as the chair of the Board of Girl Scouts of Middle Tennessee. If you get a chance, there are a few of her peers sitting up there, Linda Rudovic and some others that have worked with her on the Girl Scouts and are indebted to her for years of good service. Prior to joining Vanderbilt in 1988, Lauren held positions at North Carolina State University, Cornell University, and the University of Pennsylvania. Lauren must have read Mark Twain, or probably, since she's promoting females and women, probably she heard it from Shirley MacLaine, who also said the same thing. Do not be afraid to go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. From 1988 until her retirement in 2009, Lauren really stepped out and stepped up. She was vice chancellor, third highest position, for administration and chief financial officer at Vanderbilt University. At that time, Vanderbilt had an operating budget of $3 billion and net assets of $5 billion. And she knew about where every one of those billions were. Lauren was responsible for the institution's financial management and its administrative infrastructure, which included such areas as facilities and construction, human resources, information technology, and business operations. Important to our Jewish community and important to Vanderbilt, in 2002, she was very involved in the start of Hillel and the movement of Vanderbilt to increase the university's diversification. She and I have shared and talked about some of the very interesting behind the scenes stories, the things that happened that were featured on the front page of the Wall Street Journal back in that era. A lot of work went into it, and we have one of the players right here with us. Thinking about trees that grow, it's fascinating to note her history with Simmons University in Boston. A high school teacher planted the seed in Lauren's mind that Simmons was a wonderful school. So she attended, graduated with honors. Her growth continued, just like our tree friends. Starting in 2000, she joined the Board of Trustees, and she still serves as the immediate past chair of the board. Now, Lauren first became involved with JFS in 2008 when she joined a select JFS long-range planning committee. The group looked at a financially challenged agency, that's us, and laid the groundwork for a 10-year plan that has been successfully accomplished. She's on the board of directors of the Royal Oak Foundation Americans, in alliance with the National Trust of England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Lauren is a member of the Tennessee chapter of the International Women's Forum and the Tennessee chapter of the Women's Corporate Directors. She has an MBA from Cornell, where she has been appointed by the president to the Cornell University Council and to the Presidential Council of Cornell Women. In addition to that, there's a little bit of international activity. Nationally, Lauren has served on the advisory committee of Rock the Street, Wall Street, an after-school program that teaches high school girls financial literacy. And along the way, for 11 years, Lauren served on the board of directors of Abercrombie & Fitch, where she was on the audit, compensation, and nominating and board governance committee. I haven't yet asked her, but I will later, in 2015, which way she voted when Abercrombie changed their model of who their models were in their stores. Locally, she has served on many nonprofit board positions, including the appointment by 2 mayors of Nashville to the Metropolitan Nashville Sports Authority, Nashville Public Radio, and the Maddox Foundation Fund. For over 15 years, she served on the JFS Budget and Finance Committee, and as you heard, she's recently joined the Investment Committee. Lauren attended Leadership Nashville in 1995, an honor, and was a 2013 YWCA inductee to the Academy of Women of Achievement. And tonight she completes the trifecta, the triple crown of honorariums in the Nashville marketplace. Which reminds me, Danny Thomas said, success has nothing to do with what you gain, and and accomplish in your life for yourself. It is what you do for others. It is our pleasure to honor Lauren J. Brisky with the JFS 2021 Ruach Award. And you know, the YWCA gave her a beautiful video, and you know, National Leadership gives you, I think, a real plaque that's engraved. We're a low budget operation, but the meaning is there. And it says, Jewish Family Service 2021 Ruach Award awarded to Lauren Brisky, given to a member of the community who has provided outstanding assistance to JFS through collaboration, which enhances the agency's mission. One who saves a single soul saves an entire world. From the Sanhedrin. Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you, Howard, for that very generous and kind welcome and introduction. I have to share with you that when Pam phoned me to tell me that I was nominated for this award, my first reaction was that I was speechless. And then it settled in for a few moments, and I realized that I was just deeply honored. My next reaction was to flash back to how I got involved in Jewish Family Service. And I had received a phone call, as we realized quite a number of years ago, from Walton Lipscomb, who was the retired controller at Vanderbilt. And he was doing some work here with the agency's finances. And he asked me if I would consider joining this committee, this long-range planning committee. And he told me about the agency, and I really was impressed with the role that it played in the community, the variety of services and the longevity of the organization. And I thought, you know, this is a perfect way for me to be a bit involved in the Jewish community, despite having a very full plate of commitments. So that's how the journey began. And I must say, I am very proud of how Jewish Family Service has had discipline in getting their financial house in order and understanding that having a balanced budget is so important to delivering quality services to the community. The hard work of the leadership and the staff has paid off. And now the agency has financial equilibrium and resources for the future health of the organization. So if you'll let me reflect just for a moment, one of my favorite quotes is from Dorothea Dix. And she was a champion for reform for the treatment of the mentally ill. And as a personal aside, the dormitory that I lived in at Simmons for my freshman year was Dix Hall. But here's her quote. In a world where there is so much to be done, I felt strongly impressed that there must be something for me to do. You know, there are themes in all of our lives. I think mine has been twofold. The first theme is helping other people be successful. And the second theme is understanding the importance of community. So in helping people be successful, especially in the wonderful world of work, this includes the obvious sorts of things: leadership, appropriate supervision, offering training and guidance, and simply setting a good example. In helping other people be successful, it also includes mentorship, especially for young professionals and students, and encouraging their intellectual curiosity. And I've had a lot of mentees. I was thinking, I heard from a young man this week who's considering a job opportunity, and we were discussing it. And then he told me he was turning 57. And I thought, well, I guess we've been mentoring for a long time. The second theme is understanding the importance of community. And this is really manifested in all the volunteer work that one does and that I did. And it's been many facets over time. Howard went through kind of a long list describing some of them. But those were all important activities because community is so important. And I must add that in addition to the kinds of things that you do with volunteer work, so is philanthropy. And especially as we age, I think philanthropy becomes an even more important obligation for all of us. But the common thread in all of my volunteer activities has been supporting my community. Finally, I want to thank you for this award for an unusual, or perhaps even a bit of an awkward reason. I'm really not very adept at reflecting on time past. I'm much more practical. I tend to think about today and reflect on tomorrow. But hearing of this honor, hearing of this award, forced me to think about the many things that I have experienced. And those reflections turned out to be quite joyful. Thank you so very much.
Listening to Lauren's bio, there are many of us here who have also received the Ruach Award. And I don't think many of us have been quite as impressive as what you have done. But we all have contributed to this agency, and we do it with pride. We do it because we care, as you said, and we do it not to be recognized. So it's always nice to be recognized for the work that you proudly do, and we thank you. And also, I was in leadership class right after Lauren. I was in the class in 96. As tonight comes to an end, and I pass the gavel on to Susan, I will end 2 decades of leadership with Jewish Family Service. Many years have passed, and JFS has grown from a small, unknown agency to one that is seen as a leader in our community and provides needed services to the community and our clients in need. I started with our first active fundraiser to provide the much needed monies to the agency. We were very proud to have raised in the neighborhood of $35,000. And today, with your help, we can proclaim our independence, and our goal of $250,000 has been reached. Over these years, we have added many new and innovative programs. Our staff has grown to include marketing and now a great new webpage. Terry retired 3 years ago, and Pam has been on board for 10 or more years. A word to our staff, Tony, Ashley, Annette, Janet, Kevin, and Pam. Especially this past year of COVID, you all have been remarkable, turning on a dime and adjusting to the new ways of doing business. We have continued to grow and grow our programming. Zoom, telehealth, phone calls, and drive-bys became the new normal, and you didn't miss a beat. Pam, you make being a president easy. Always a step ahead and a great partner. You made me look good. Jewish Family Service has grown threefold under your guidance, and I am honored to have been a part of it for all these years. To the board and executive committee, thank you for serving and doing your part and keeping JFS on the straight and narrow. We have accomplished much, and much more needs to be done. A special thanks to Stan, Ben, and Steve for their time on the board and executive committee. Congratulations to Lauren on the Ruach Award. It has been an honor and a pleasure to have served with you on the Budget and Finance Committee, and your knowledge was much helpful. I would also like to give a special shout out to Steve Lapidus. He is going off the board this year after serving probably close to 20 years. We came on together, we struggled together, but we also worked hard to bring this agency forward. And to the community and our clients, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to serve Nashville and its Jewish community. It has been my pleasure to be part of our growth. And I'm so proud to have served and helped all of you that needed our services. Please don't hesitate to let me know of any services we, as an agency, need to provide, as I can still pass that information on. And remember, Jewish Family Service is here to serve us all. Our mission since 1853 has been to provide professional social services from the Jewish perspective, which respond to and support individuals and families through life's transitions. And we are only a phone call away. Thank you. And now, Susan, it's my pleasure.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I am truly honored to become the next president of JFS. Thank you for the opportunity. I follow in the footsteps of many incredible people, many of them who are here tonight. And I take the responsibility of this job seriously and promise to perform this job with both compassion for its mission and stewardship in its growth. Before I say anything else, though, first of all, I want to wish to thank Nan for all she has done throughout these past 2 years as our president. Nan and her family have been committed to JFS for so many years, and Nan has literally held every position on this board throughout all her years of dedication. Seriously, I think secretary, treasurer, vice president, president, and more, right? I am personally so glad she will still be on the board as past president to help guide me as I serve my term. She has already been a wonderful mentor to me, even answering her phone one day this spring when she was in the grocery store. Thank you, Nan, for everything. Pam, JFS is blessed with you as our incredible executive director, and all you here know how true that is. She is not only so smart and organized, but she is dedicated to growing our agency to be better and better every day, and so easy to talk to always. You are our gem, and I'm excited to work beside you over these next 2 years. Thank you for everything. I thank you, the staff, Tony and Ashley, our social workers, Anna, our Helping Hands coordinator, Kevin, our new controller, and Janet, our administrative coordinator. We are so thankful for all that you do and for being heroes and doing all of this throughout the pandemic when the need was at one of its greatest times. I thank you, the Board of Trustees, you, the volunteers, and you, the incredible financial supporters. I thank our growing budget and finance committee and growing investment committee. And I thank the new marketing committee who is excitedly working on our brand new, extremely updated and user-friendly website, which we cannot wait to roll out to you with its expanded ways to reach out to so many more in need of service, and hopefully even more donations as people get caught up scrolling and then they see how easy it's just to push that donate button. So maybe that'll happen too. Seriously, with all of you together, our mission can be accomplished and all our new goals for the future can hopefully be realized. This is how I look at JFS. As I look out at all of you tonight, I see a group of people who share one huge thing in common. We all care. We were raised to care. We were raised to care for our grandparents, parents, family, and friends. And we were raised to care for our community. I know that is why I am here, and I know that is why you all are here too. My story is that I was born in Charleston, West Virginia, where my mother was from, and lived there until I was 8 years old. And then my father, a lawyer, was ready to move back to New Jersey, where he was from, to join a law firm in New York City. My families in both West Virginia and New Jersey were extremely involved in their communities. I grew up watching the women as well as the men in my family give back. In Charleston, my great-grandmother was a force to be reckoned with. And though I do not have that personality, the passion to do good work is strong in my genes. In fact, my first introduction to JFS was through my mother, who tutored through JFS Russian Jewish immigrant children in a feeder school, whose purpose was to enable the children to learn enough English so that they could be in a grade as close as possible to their own age. I remember going with her to help tutor whenever I was on vacation from school. As for me, after graduating from Wellesley College, I came to Vanderbilt Law School. Just as an aside, I was told I was the only person who said she loved law school, but I did. The truth was that my real goal was to be able to use the skills I learned in law school to help others through philanthropic agencies. I wonderfully met my husband, Jeff Zager, in law school. We married after I graduated, and I happily settled into my new home of Nashville. My way to meet people and pursue my passion of being involved in the community began with joining NCJW, the League for the Hearing Impaired, Outlook Nashville, Junior League, the Temple, where I just finished a term on the board, and my children's schools. I eventually became president of the Parents Association of Harpeth Hall, and then consequently served on Harpeth Hall's board for 8 years. Then my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and my parents moved to Nashville to be closer to me, as I am an only child. I always said my father gave me the gift of moving here and leaving all his friends so that I did not have to keep flying back and forth to New Jersey while trying to raise my children at the same time. So then my dad and I became a team of love. And if I had not already learned a lot about caring, this was the most important one. I did give up a lot of volunteer work then, and of course everyone understood. However, after my dear mother passed away and I realized I could still care for my dad, who is going strong at almost 91, but sneak back into the world again, I called Anna Sir to see if I could help with JFS. I guess from this story, you realize my passion with the older generation was strong, and so Anna asked if I wanted to help with the seniors. And this is how I came to JFS, to fall in love with all that JFS does and find this is my spot. I was thrilled to eventually be asked to join the board, eventually co-chair the HESED dinner with Alyssa Trackman, become vice president of JFS, and one thing has led to another, and here we are today. I thank you for the honor, and I hope this story helps you all realize how deeply I mean it. Lastly, I want you all to know that you can call me for anything, and I look forward to working with all of you as we care for our community and each other. Thank you very much.
I would be remiss as the JFS Life and Legacy Team Chair if I didn't give a quick update and thank you to our donors. In your program, you see a listing of individuals who have made an after-lifetime financial commitment to JFS. The list is an impressive 72 strong and continues to grow. On the table, we have some literature about the program, or feel free to ask any one of our Life and Legacy team members more about it. You can see me, Howard Safer, Steve Lapidus, Nancy Flexer, Carol Smith, Ben Moretz, or Pam, of course. I thank you for your commitment to JFS. It's a commitment to what began as the Benevolent Society, and it really represents benevolence in our community. Thank you.